Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're jamming two of the best Legacy decks together into one Frankenstein's monster of a deck. This is Esper Stifle Pup. So what we have here is the best of blue-black tempo in that we have Orcish Bowmasters, Snuff Out, and Kaito. And we have the best of blue-white tempo in that we have Phelia, we have awesome exile-based removal, and we have Quantum Riddler. So we're kind of like in this weird intermediary space where we're still like just a Tomio deck with like Murktide that wins through conventional means, but we also have the ability to just like draw the game out if we need to. I really love the fact that we can just steal games with Stifle. We've got the 4 days, 4 Wasteland package, so we're a true tempo deck, and we can kind of defend the queen, so to speak, on Tomio if we need to. And we just have tons of removal. We've got Phelia, which can technically remove things permanently if we stifle the return trigger. So this deals with Chalice. This deals with other problematic permanents. I've got 3 of her, and then I've got exactly 1 of Kaito. So if you look, I've kind of shaved the amounts of cards on all the negotiables. There are 3 Riddler instead of 4, but I did not shave on either Tomio or Orcish Bowmaster. I believe those are the 2 real standout cards in Legacy right now. So the sideboard has some prismatic endings for creature heavy matchups. Got some force negations, hydroblasts, and consignment memories for combo. 2 berries in case we go up against like blue-red tempo. And we've got a null rod and a Grafdigger's Cage. Up against a fan of the channel, Senor Larson, who's actually says he's watching the current, I'm going to assume it's he with the Senor. He's watching the video that I just posted today, which is a league. So we do have a basic island. This is not a bad hand. We do need to find another land, but we have Tomio in the meantime. We have a Daze. I don't want to get wasted. I do think there's a serious risk of us getting wasted if I grab the Tundra, so I'm just going to be super conservative here. We may very well be up against like a pseudo mirror here. I'm going to keep. So Island Tomio is like an extremely ambitious or ambiguous start. It could be anything. I'm going to try to hold the Daze, but actually, if I'm not sure if I'm drawing a land, this might be the very best time to use Daze. But conventionally, like I won't Daze to save a Tomio, because this Daze can also pitch to force. Okay, so likely Painter, which is a horrific matchup. If they're on Painter, I don't even care about this that much. I think there's a good chance that I don't draw a land, though. I'm going to go ahead and keep her around, because I might be able to flip her and ride her to victory. Okay, and they did not have the Spirit Guide. Okay, Brainstorm. So I'm glad I kept her around. In other words, they likely have something to disrupt this, but I'll wait and see if they attempt. Okay, Urza Saga. Skateboard, that's fine. I will wait till that hits my island, and then I'll float. Then they're going to pass phases. It's fine. I'm not going to Brainstorm. I'm going to be patient. That was a very good play on their part. Considering I have this Force of Will, I am going to go ahead and force here. They're getting lower on cards. I do want to flip her. Man, my opponent's playing very well. And it's worth pointing out that had I Brainstorm there, they would have been able to just Pyroblast her or Pyroblast the Brainstorm itself and stop that. So I think it was correct to just float and pass. At this point, I do want to flip her. I'm not going to have time to crack these clues if my opponent's got... Oh, man. That sucks. All right. Well, we'll put back these Phelia. I'll plus her and I'll pass. They can start the beats pretty soon. They've already got probably like 5/5 sized ones. So next turn, I have to ponder. And if they like blast my ponder, it's catastrophic. I'd rather than blast my Tomio than my ponder. Wow, so many freaking things. I don't actually have Dress Down in the sideboard. I pulled it. I don't have a good sweeper in the sideboard of this deck. All right, so let's go ahead and start with this. And then... No! I clicked the wrong freaking button. I'm sorry, my excellent friends. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I meant to click the ponder. Gosh, that's really embarrassing. Well, considering that they're about to attack with both creatures, I want to debuff and maybe keep one alive. Is that even viable? So 1, 2, 3. So they're going to have 2 constructs. Sorry. I'm so sorry about that. 1. And I'm drawing another Tomio. You know what? I don't think there's a path to victory here. I can play it out. But like I really needed that Ponder to not draw the extra. Yeah, I'm just going to concede. That may seem premature, but believe me, like this matchup is atrocious. And they're just going to kill us with the constructs with our current state. So Baragoyf is good in this matchup for sure because he can hold back the constructs. He can gain life. Of course, we've got our 3 Hydroblasts. I take red very seriously right now. We've got Prismatic Ending coming in. No Rod is probably worth bringing in. Cards that come out. Stifle is not spectacular against their non-fetch land deck. It can. I don't like playing Stifle in decks that don't have fetch lands, frankly. I think Consign might be worth playing. It does stop some things that are relevant. Let's talk about what isn't relevant. Murktide and Quantum Riddler can come out. They're just too big of a mana investment. I don't like Tomio in this matchup either. Do we still have enough blue? So Bowmasters is good. Bowmasters are good, rather. That's 60 cards. So I do like to actually, like, Kaito's pretty bad too. I kind of want to pull a Kaito. I think we're better off with a Murktide than a Kaito. No, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Because this just eats a blast and they're going to have like 6 or 7 blasts. Kaito like does things for 1 turn and then he usually dies to either combat. Like I don't like Kaito against creature heavy decks. He comes out against like a lot of like Ocelot Pride decks, for example. Can we win with our current threats? We have Bowmaster, which can potentially win. Phelia, Baragoyf can certainly win. We have an extremely high blue count to start with, which is how I'm able to pull this many cards. Grafdigger's Cage doesn't shut off their win combo if they use the thing. It's not worth playing. I think I'll bring in a Riddler because I could always like warp it and maybe get 2 cards out of it if they're tapped out. Yeah. All right. I'm not expecting to win this. I mean, this is like basically the nightmare matchup. It's hard to think of a worse matchup. Unfortunately, a no-lander. I am playing 19 lands, which is the standard. Yeah. You're not seeing the lands that I'm playing, but I am playing lands. I promise. This doesn't have a way to find a second land. It is a very good hand. I don't want to go any lower, but I think we should go lower. Actually, I'm going to fetch Surveil and try to find a land that way. So I'll put back one of these mini redundant Phelias. My Surveil land is a black-blue land. Because No Rod is so good on its own. Like, it does a lot against them. And mulling to 5 just it feels terrible. Like, they don't have Wasteland in their deck. They can't blow up my stuff by... Like, Painter will often target your lands once they have the Painter out. I'm going to fetch Surveil now. I would love to make a land drop. I'll bin anything that's not land. Wow. What a lucky top deck. Okay. So we have 2 options. One, we can get on the board here, and we can just wait on the No Rod. I think that's the line. Because we've got double Phelia, so we can let the first one die. I don't want to just play a No Rod and just have it sit there for several turns doing nothing. I want to be proactive here. We are on the play. Phelia straight deletes constructs, which I love about her. But the circumstances have to be right. So we'll see if they want to kill her, and then I can just play the other one. I don't have to use removal or stack interaction to save her. They are going to remove her. That is fine. All right, so we'll attempt to play the other one here in a sec. Wasteland is phenomenal. In situations like this, it's often correct to just go after their mana-producing land and lead them with the Ursa Saga that dies. If they had Ancient Tomb, they probably would have led with Ancient Tomb instead of the Surveil land. I'm going to do it. No guts, no glory. If I can mana screw them, it's so good. I have a Daze in my hand too. Come on, whiff on land, please. Oh, they had the Ancient Tomb, of course. Brutal. Yeah, that sucks. So they're going to be able to get the constructs. All right. Well, we're jamming the No Rod here. We can make a land drop, potentially. I think it is worth going for the land drop here. Yeah, let's see. Most of my black cards... Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and ponder here. I was going to say, most of my black cards are like Kaito's out. I do have Bowmasters. Insane. What a freaking stack of cards. Holy cow. So I'll just waste their tomb. They'll get 1 construct, then I can delete it. This is almost unfair that we got these cards. I just want to make sure I didn't play a land yet. Because, yeah, okay, great. Yeah, I can just waste now. I'll just waste the tomb. Gosh, I feel so lucky. Like, I really can't express how phenomenal that ponder was. That was just like one of the best. Because now they have to do this before And then I could just delete the thing. Yeah, that's fine. And now they can't make the second construct. It's just like chef's kiss. This game, like we went from a mole to a really shaky 6 that had 1 land in it to just absolutely devastating. Like this is just the best. And that's why I love this deck. Like I love playing blue decks because you have that optionality. I mean, granted, like Ponder, we would have gotten those cards naturally anyway. Like we didn't have to shuffle the Ponder. The Surveil, I didn't have to, bin the Surveil. It'll be interesting to see what they get, but it's they're still 1 artifact away from Opal. I don't even know what they needle here. Wasteland? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, considering that Wasteland is the card that's soloing them here. Goblin Engineer. They've got 4 cards left in hand. I mean, I'm so tempted to just force this. They can't... Oh, wait, I can daze it. They don't have a 3rd artifact. I'm just going to daze. Wait, do I want to pick this up? All the cards on top of my deck are great. I want to have access to both lands next turn. Okay, wow. We stopped like one of their best cards. All right, Hydroblast is great, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And they can't do anything now anyway. So I'll just blink it and then grow my Phelia. Phelia is so good. She's like one of the best designed cards in Modern Horizons 3 in my humble opinion. Because obviously she's like extremely brittle, but the fact that she has flash and such a powerful effect, she's just like built around in so many different archetypes. Arena of Glory. I definitely don't want to have to use my Hydroblast as force fodder. They didn't exert the arena. They're going to go get something and I could just blast to clear this. I think it's fine. I'm going to let it go. They're probably going to get the guy that like don't let them dump their hand, but that's not a big deal. They don't actually have that much mana. I could get blown out here depending on what they get, but I think I'm safe. Chaos Defiler. So they actually need the other guy. Oh no, because they have the Arena of Glory, they could, in theory, actually use Chaos Defiler against me. I don't know if I can kill them in time. Prismatic Ending. So let's think about this. If they have the thing, yeah, they can mark my Phelia. I can just Hydroblast on the stack. Yeah, I'll just have to do that. I am going to go ahead and just blink this out again. I'm not taking a chance because they don't have any mana up. I'm just trying to max damage here. If they have Hydroblast plus the Goblin Welder, then I'm in serious trouble because they will be able to cast a Defiler. And I will have already burned my Hydroblast, so I won't be able to kill it. But the Goblin Engineer can't bring anything meaningful back right now, so I'll just let it go. Yeah, I need them to not have Blast. I assume the reason they got that is because they have Welder in hand. They have so much mana. Okay, this is Haste. What is this? Okay, this is Welder. Well, unfortunately, I have no choice. If you had the Blast, I probably lose the game despite being extremely far ahead. But am I really far ahead if I'm going to just lose the game here? This is for creature spells only? Okay, apparently it says Haste if it's spent on creatures. Yeah, they had exactly what they needed. There's nothing I can do here. I just lose the game because this freaking combo. This has Haste. It can take out any non-land permanent. So it can take out my freaking Null Rod. It's so brutal. And then they can just put it, like sacrifice it with this and take another permanent too. Unbelievable. If I at least kill the Welder, they can't bring it back a second time. They can take it out of play and kill something, but they can't. And they need red mana here to activate this. So sorry if I sound salty. It's just that I was so far ahead, and like this combined with Pyroblast, like it was just a perfect storm of like cards that they needed to win. And not that I'm not also getting lucky over here. I will say if you can reliably win the Painter matchup as a blue mage, you are a very skilled blue mage. Because like I'm maybe like 30 to 40% against Painter. Okay, they're coming in for an attack. When their deck has 7 or 8 cards that says counter target spell or destroy target permanent, it's pretty hard to win. Baragorf is good, but he's not good enough, unfortunately. I do have to take this out, and I just have to sit here. I may be able to come back with Baragorf. We'll see what they draw here. I'm taking 5-6 here, and now when this dies, my Null Rod goes away too. Okay, they're just attacking with that, so I presume they're going to use Engineer, but I'm not sure why. Okay, they're reserving the right to use that to mark permanents. So here, unfortunately, if I play Baragorf, they just use that, take a Baragorf. But it may actually be right to do that. And the reason it might be right is because they can't bring this back with this. They need to find another welder. So they'll just be able to bring back a Mox Opal. Yeah, I'm going to feed the beast. Not feed the beast. That's a different... I'm going to give him my pound of flesh here in the form of Baragoyf. There's no world in which holding back for another turn is a winning line, in my humble opinion. I'll get blue just in case. They're not going to take out my individual lands. But just in case they have a Blood Moon, it will be necessary for me to be able to interact here. So they'll probably just in-step do this so they have their mana up for next turn. I can't imagine them leaving this on the table. Yep. So the good news is I get to keep my No Rod because this cannot bring back Chaos Defiler. But they don't have any card selection, but if they get lucky, they'll be fine. Fable is a very strong card here. And a skateboard. So they can immediately use the token. They have... that doesn't matter, right? It's still... Yeah, they can't use the skateboard. They can't use the Moxen. They can't use the clue they create off this. Okay, so I have Force Up, but it's probably too little too late here. They're at 9. I mean, like, if I could get a Baragoyf to stick, I would be very happy. But I hope you can understand I'd just be dead here if I hadn't gone ahead and played out the Baragoyf. My situation was not going to improve. I was going to take 5 every turn. So they were able to bin a Great Furnace and a Disruptor Flute and get 2 new cards, one of which is a fetch. I'll take 2 here. I guess they're going to use the Engineer to maybe bring back the Disruptor Flute if I do something. I'm not sure. Come on, action spell. That could be an action spell. Let's ponder. If I find a Bowmaster, it's not the worst. Baragoyf. Hell yeah. So next turn, I'll play the Baragoyf. And that might be in time. Let's see. Because it gains life. So the reason Baragoyf is good enough here is, yes, they're going to be able to attack and start copying stuff. But like Baragoyf gains life. So I think I'm going to be okay. I think I am going to go ahead and brainstorm here because I have nothing else to do with my mana. Just in case I find a Plow, I would like to get rid of Engineer or at least hold up Plow for the turn cycle. If I find a fetch, that's good too. They're thinking like maybe they should counter this. Daze is just a blue card for Force at this point. I would actually prefer them to counter this so that way my Force can counter some must counter spell next turn. They are activating to get that back. I can't interact. They're going to name Force of Will here, I bet. They may name Plow. They name Plow, okay. And they have a Disruptor Flute from hand. I'm not going to interact with that. I'll just let them name my other cards. They name Baragoyf, that's a tragedy. Wrath of the Skies, that's smart, but I actually don't have it in my 75. I don't have a big enough dedication to blue. Okay, so here, what I'm going to do is, I don't care about this Daze. I'll put it back. I'll put this on top, and then I can fetch to clear the Daze. Then I have a Brainstorm, and I can just do this next turn. And now I've got Force Up if I absolutely need it. They're tapped out. They got unlucky with their names, but they were sensible names. They have a Surveil? No. Okay, what is this? So this is going to flip. I can't stop it. They've got a lot of bodies on the table. Coming in for 3. Creates a treasure that doesn't do anything but is material for this. Okay. Drop the land. I'm going to go ahead and do it like this. Black. Baragoyf, this is your time to shine, buddy. We need you. This has definitely been a pitched battle here. Surveillance Cam is death if it resolves, but they can just bring it freaking back. Ah, of course they can just bring it back if I... Ah, so sucky. So sucky. But if they have to bring it back, then they don't... But I'm at 4. So they tap this, they bring it back, and then they attack for lethal. And there's nothing I can find off Brainstorm that saves me. Good games. I'm just going to presume that they're going to do the right thing and they're going to be able to end the game. I don't care to play it out. I'm not going to bore you with, like... My opponent's very competent. All right, we'll go to the next one. Right, round 2. Another fan of the channel. Thanks. Good luck. Have fun. So this hand's fine. I like the fact that we're kind of... I mean, obviously, Phelia doesn't do anything. We can lead on the Undercity Sewers. I'll keep... Okay, Wooded Foothills. Once. Wasteland. Okay, well, that's going to hit, unfortunately. So, okay, what are they on? You don't see a lot of Wooded Foothills. I was Mystic. Okay. So what I'm going to do is on Undercity Sewers here. Oh, Snuff Out. That's freaking phenomenal. I am going to snuff that. The card that they revealed, by the way, was the Wasteland. I may have said that. This is exactly what we need. We just need a lot of removal against what seems to be a creature-heavy deck. I'll happily pay some life just to slow them down. We're going to work through their Wastelands. I could have fetched a basic island, but like I just want them to waste now because it's going to happen sooner or later. All right, interesting. So is there a flash threat that's in green that I should be thinking of? Well, I have a flash threat. I'll just pass. Gosh, I like this deck a lot. You can already see just the sheer volume of options we have and lines. I could have absolutely played a fetch there instead, but I want to save it for later. Okay, well, they are on black, so this is fine. So I'm going to attempt to ambush. I wasn't sure from the Wooded Foothills that they'd be on black. Okay, and here I am going to go ahead and just play it out. And then this will probably ward off an attack. Unfortunately, I can't do like the daze trick, where I can like daze back into hand if they respond. But okay, 2 green mana for Fiend Artisan. Well, that unfortunately is black. So I'm going to be fetching a Tundra and plowing that thing with Prejudice. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So let's think about this. I do think we have to plow this. So we plow this. We attack. We can blink this out. They can have their thing for a turn cycle. I think it's fine. And I'm not going to be able to... yeah, I'm so glad I had the plow in addition to the Snuff Outs. The Snuff Outs will probably come up later. Hopefully they don't have another Wasteland. If they do, I'm in pretty big trouble. I can always blink. Wait a second. Let's think about this. So this is a 2/2. I could attack. They just block with this, and then I lose my Phelia. That doesn't seem good. I was thinking like I could Bowmaster, ping that, and then, yeah. But that grows this to a 3/3. So, no, that's not the line. I'm just going to go ahead and plow now. Then we'll attack and we'll delete the token. That way they can't double block. Not that they would. I'm going to assume that they see the value against a deck that's presented 3 blue lands. It's pretty safe to assume that, like, Bowmaster is good against me. Please don't have a Wasteland. Please do not have a Wasteland. Green. Okay, what is this? Another one? Well, it's bigger. Well, it's not actually bigger because of the previous one. Okay, so they're attacking here. If I draw a Stifle, I could just stifle it on the way back in. What do I want to do here? I think I just sacrifice another creature. It's part of the cost. I don't think I can wait, actually. I think I have to go for it now. Because would they do it? Okay, if let's say hypothetically I Bowmastered and then I attack and blink, then Fiend Artisan, yeah, I think I'm going to try that. I'm going to hit this, and then it doesn't grow. Get my body, I attack. Would you like to trade? And if you don't trade, well, your dude's dead anyway. Secretly, I actually do want them to trade because I want to kill their Bowmaster. So this works out great for me because now I've cleared their board completely in their creature deck. I mean, I'm a creature deck too, but yeah, like the Phelia was good, don't get me wrong, but being able to cast my spells like Brainstorm and get my Murktide out on the table, and I might just Murk and defend from if they have a Snuff Out. A lot of these decks don't actually play that many removal spells. I'm going to let that go. So I'm going to assume that they're on like the old Cradle control that wasn't as all in on natural order as the new ones. The new deck is like Cradle control in name only. It's just about, jamming Atraxa off of natural order or Crater Hoof. Okay, they actually took the land there. Interesting. They're fetching. Please play out a green creature that I can just immediately kill. It's not a hybrid green-black. Okay, I love it. Love it. All right, no reason to cast it yet. I can just wait and see what I draw. Okay, another force. I'm just going to go ahead and snuff it now. I'll attack. And then I Murk. And Murk is a 6/6. And then I've got double force to defend my Murk. And I'll get the creature out of my graveyard just in case it matters at some point. It shouldn't matter. I can't do anything with creatures in my graveyard. Beargoist in my sideboard. Elves of Deep Shadow. Okay, they're down to 2 cards over there. I will just attack and force them to consider blocking here. If they have a Bowmaster, I don't think I fight on the stack. This deck is so much fun to play. I know I keep saying that, but it's like there's so many different decisions to be made once you add a third color. All right, so I'm just all in on forcing their stuff. I'm not going to Brainstorm. because that opens me up to Bowmaster abuse, and I don't want to have to fight a Bowmaster. I just want this to survive. If this survives, they're dead. We've already taken out their Allosaurus Shepherd. They may have another in there. If they do, they win. Natural order for Atraxa. No, thank you. All right. That felt great. And keep in mind, like I had another force blue card, so I won by a healthy margin. And I did so on the draw, I'll point out. So against this deck, Prismatic Ending absolutely comes in. Grafdigger's Cage is quite good because they use Greenstone as well, and they can search their library for cards with Fiend Artisan. So I think that's a quite a good card in this matchup. Stifle is not bad. Daze is certainly less good against their, big mana deck. We could just take out all the Stifles or all the Dazes and bring in one Baragoyf just as a threat. It can scale and potentially win. They may have endurance, but because Baragoyf sees both graveyards, it's not as big of a blowout as it would otherwise be. Tamio is potentially decent here. I don't want to cut her. And also she enables Kaito, which is only a 1 of in this deck. Usually it's a 2 of. Bowmaster is great here. I'm not going to take any lands because they're a Wasteland deck. Let's run it. All right, this is an easy mulligan. No blue source, no keep. They're a proven Wasteland deck. I don't think it's responsible to keep this. Riddler doesn't do a lot. Prismatic Ending is great, but we don't have a white source. I'm just going to trust that we can do better on a 5. This is pretty insane. So we keep. I'll bottom the Murktide and the Surveil Land. And then what we're probably going to do is just plow. If I get a chance to get the Grafdigger's Cage down, I will. All right, this is a great chance for me to cage. They may have removal for this, but I doubt it. And that shuts off probably 7 to 8 spells in their deck, plus those the search ability on the Fiend Artisan. The worst thing that could happen, I only have 3 white sources in the deck, so they could plow, and that would suck. Fiend Artisan, okay, it's a 1/1, it can't search. I don't have to immediately dispatch of it. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I have the ability to keep her alive if I need to. She can block. She can generate some value for me. What does the other side of this do? That's pretty cool. So it's kind of like a Greater Good, I think is the name of the card. I've never seen this outside of Oops All Spells because only degens have played this card in the past, but I'm happy to see it in a fair deck, even though they are playing Natural Order. They're technically a combo deck. All right, Wasteland. Collector Roof does not affect me beyond Tamio. That's fine. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just plow in the end step. I'll plow. I think I plow the Collector Roof. I want to be mana efficient here. And I want to be able to hold up Brainstorm for next turn. Because I would like to create a clue. So I think it's fine. And I'm not going to be putting creatures in the graveyard. Just they have a 1/1. Who cares? Right? That's a nice draw. So we'll just attack here and we'll pass. Yeah, this Grafdigger's Cage is a 1 of is clutch. As was Null Rod in the previous round. It was very good. So, just having sideboard bullets in your deck that has lots of cantrips to sift through and find them. Pretty cool. All right. They can attack for 1 here. I don't mind. They don't. All right. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to hold my plow. I'm just worried that they play Allosaurus Shepherd in the natural order. And I can wait till the natural order is on the stack, then plow the Allosaurus Shepherd. Oh, love it. Love it. I'm just going to be patient here. There's no reason to rush. My opponent's not doing very much. They do have a lot of mana. But like I said, natural order, I'll just force it. Actually, I don't even have to force it. They can't search. Bowmasters. I think what I'm going to do here, I could force this. Is there any reason to force when I have a plow in hand? No. I want to be efficient with my mana. I think it's fine to just... I'll just go ahead and crack a clue here. I don't want to flip Tamio. She'll die in combat next turn. So I'll just draw 1 card here. All right, Murktide is pretty good. Yeah, that can win the game in a few turns. So we plow the Bowmaster, and I'm glad I hung on to the plow for this Bowmaster because that is going to be a pain. Then we Brainstorm, flip the Tamio, and then hopefully we've drawn some other card that goes in our graveyard, like a fetch. A Wasteland wouldn't be atrocious. It's probably not necessary, though. I'd rather draw blue sources. Scariest thing they could do here is probably just waste me again. But even that's not that big of a deal. So Tamio's already a 2-for-1 if they remove it. Okay, they're keeping the Arbor back. This is fine. They may have like Grist or something. Would I force Grist? I think I actually do force Grist if they cast him. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and... Gosh, if they have 2, it's pretty awkward. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and attack. I'll create my clue, and then I will plow, and then I will brainstorm. And I will just force a Bowmaster so I don't get, shadow roamed. It is nice to also know that we're like potentially drawing to our own Bowmasters too. Like all those quick reflexes. Veil? What is this? I will absolutely... Oh wait, Veil doesn't work because it's a white spell. They should Bowmaster now if they have one, because then there's no window where I can brainstorm without Bowmaster being out. But they could also surprise me, like they don't know that I'm a Bowmaster. I could see arguments for either. All right, I'm going to go for the Brainstorm. Brainstorm completely nullifies their offensive. But if I have to force a Bowmasters here, then they do have 2 creatures in the graveyard. They're dismembering her. That, as I said, is like a 4-for-1. She's not that big of a deal. Let's draw some cards. We found a land and a second Merc. I don't want both lands. I could actually put back one of the Mercs and ponder right now. And then just be sure to grab a blue card. Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and do that. Because now we can be relatively confident that they're not going to Bowmaster. Because they would have Bowmastered there for sure. So I'll just grab the Undercity Sewers. If they have Choke, it's catastrophic. But I'm going to hold the force. I assume there's some big Haymaker spell coming. And I'm going to be ready for it. So I need to find a blue card here. Unfortunately, I did not. I actually think this is a shuffle. Wasteland doesn't really help me that much. I need a blue card. I have a high density of blue cards, 27 pre-board. Okay, Plow's not bad, but unfortunately, I will have to pitch Merc. And Merc will be really big. But Seiju, well, that's pretty good. All right, well, they can go get stuff out of their deck. Yes, I would like to go get a land. Just get an Undercity Sewers here. Because I can't cast anything in my hand. That's an above average card for sure. That would have actually made Murktide a 5/5. But Murktide, unfortunately, is not going to get cast because I'm going to have to stop a natural order here. Yep. I got so lucky that I had the force for this. They don't have Veil. So we'll take 3 here. But I can just clear this now and start activating my clues. They're down to 1 card over there. I think this game is probably over. But I've been wrong before in situations like these. So get the Brainstorm. I do want to do something proactive this turn. So I think I could go ahead and do this first just to see what I draw. Okay, Island. I think I'm going to Brainstorm here. Put this back, shuffle it away. Phelia and Riddler. Those are good. Those are good cards. So I don't need the second Phelia probably. I could just throw Phelia out and take another hit from them, but they could activate this and get something scary. I think it is the responsible, correct thing to do to just plow it. Yeah, I'm just going to plow it. I'm not going to risk it. There is like a world in which they have like another natural order, but they won't have the mana for it. Green Sun's still kind of scary. All right, we'll see what their last card is. But I've got Phelia Riddler coming up pretty quickly. I will probably actually just play out... Let's see. I'll probably play out Riddler, and then I'll get the extra card off the clue. And if they have a Bowmaster... They played a land. One unknown. Oh, man. Yeah, could I die if I am wrong here? I think I could. I think the correct thing to do is wait into the end step and then Phelia and then Riddler and just not risk it. I have another Phelia coming on top of my deck. So even if they kill this one, I have another one. And removal might be one of the cards that's in their hand there. If they put a Bowmaster on the stack, I can always respond with the clue. I mean, this entire game, like, it may not feel like it, but it's really just a result of Tomio creating like a 4-for-1 basically at the beginning of the game. That's why we would be like top decking like desperately as well, like they are if it hadn't been for that huge burst of card advantage. The fact that their answer to my Grafdigger's Cage also netted me a land was also kind of like a +1. They're fetching here. Do they have a second Dryad Arbor? Or just Surveil? Just another land? Okay. And I may be over-respecting... Oh, yeah. So I'm just going to go like this. They're going to take that. Then after they've taken that, I can crack the clue. Actually, I should have freaking held because they would have taken Phelia and then... Yeah, I think I punted hard. that was a punt for sure. They are doing 2 damage to themselves, and their orc is as good as dead here. I love it. They are going to get a hit, but they're hellbent. I'll go ahead and crack this now while I don't have to worry about Bowmasters. I'm drawing a Phelia, and then I'm drawing, I believe, an unknown card. Scalding Tarn. I'll play that out, and I will pass. And again, like if I can ambush an orc army, that's great. I've got nothing else going on, sadly. They've 1-for-1 almost all my cards. Earlier I said, like, I don't see how I lose from here, but I could absolutely lose now. So this is a body. It's fine. They have tons of mana. I will kill the land and leave the orc army. I'll kill the orc army. No, I'll kill the land. Unfortunately, I'm not really able to attack in with the Badger Mole Cub out. This comes back. I think it may enter as that creature. Gosh, that's terrifying if true. I don't know how it works. Yeah, because then that creature is pretty big. Let's take a look at the stats. It's a 3/3, but it draws a bunch of... Yeah, but they sacrifice a creature. Maybe if... Can they sacrifice itself? Another creature. Okay. Well, I'm going to hold this just in case I don't want to take damage at this point, if I can avoid it. Ugh. Okay. Unfortunately, I think the play is to chill. Yeah, that sucks. We have the next play answered... But I think if we just block this, it comes back. But it's okay. They want to sacrifice the Badger Mole Cub and draw 3 cards. We can't wait around forever. I think this is a force. Okay. So here, I'm pretty sure the text is return it to the battlefield tapped. I'm pretty sure it returns as a creature, unfortunately. But again, that's going to... Yep. They have to do this during... Well, it already did combo damage, so they can draw 2 cards here and gain 2 life if they want. Okay. Cradle. How do they get... Oh, they got 2 cards. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I was like, how do they get all those cards? Yeah, that's a nice card advantage engine. Oh. Not going to be able to exile that, unfortunately. I mean, like, I think I just have to chump pretty soon. I'm not going to chump this turn, so I will attack. I don't think I run a risk. Yeah, they could technically Bowmaster and blow me out. I think if it's a Bowmaster, I'm probably dead anyway because they can just end step the Bowmaster. No, I need to block just in case it's Bowmaster. And again, this all comes down to like that missequencing. Like if I'm pretty sure if I'd had Phelia in hand, maybe they would have. But if they had the Dismember, they probably would have just dismembered the Phelia or dismembered the Riddler. Okay, they're coming across. I will just take it. There's no hidden text on here. It's just 3 damage. I'm very low in life. Not going to be fetching anytime soon. A lot of werewolves. I probably just end that. That's it. I mean, it represents like an existential threat here to me now. All right, let's go get something good. Oh, that's pretty good. This is really good. Okay. So Wasteland goes back. I don't really care about it. Beargoyf is the thing that we need here. We can do both if we fetch. But Beargoyf is a life gainer, but I'm dead. I'm kind of thinking I Prismatic in this and I chill on Quantum Riddler for a turn cycle. Yeah. I do need a lifelink card. Well, I guess, yeah, I think I probably punted here. Dismember is not going to kill Barry, but Barry could get shrunk down to where I don't gain life. I'm just going to hang back with Phelia and wait another turn cycle. This may be an error, frankly, like going after this thing. Who cares? But it is material. I'd hate to lose by 1 life just because they have Bowmasters and they're able to get an attack through. Because they could have Bowmasters and like a Dismember. Really exciting game, though. And that Brainstorm gave me the goods. Holy cow. Unfortunately, I am going to have to probably fetch away. Yeah, let's go ahead and play this out. I could Grower here if I attack, but I do think I hang back just in case they have removal. I said, ouch. Well, that's a good sign. I just have to respect Bowmasters. We haven't even seen one yet, have we? No, I think I exiled 1 this game. This game has been very long. Yeah, I exiled 1. It's been a real back and forth. Like, they've got the toolbox. I've got tools. Unfortunately, I do think the Phelia Warp thing probably needs a way to turn because, like, what if they had Bowmaster? Like, what I need them to do is, like, empty their hand. Even if it's just getting an Attractor or something, I just need the confidence that they don't have Bowmaster in hand. Okay, this is Natural Order. Greenstone Zenith X equals 3. Okay, what is this? This could be a massive creature. Like, just getting a another one of the Fiend Artisans would be pretty good. I don't think they have like a kill your creature type creature. This is an elf, so it's worth noting that if they get like if they have another Lana War, actually I think that's still in their deck, right? Did I exile it? Yeah, they could get that. They probably just went like as much as they could to maximize their options, but that would make sense to grab that because they could just make everything really big and attack me and try to alpha strike me. But they're tapped out, which means I can do the trick. I will have to kamikaze Phelia to do it, but I'll draw so many cards. Grist! They're going to kill the Baraghoyf? Please kill the Baraghoyf. I don't want to have to deal with Grist. Phelia versus Grist will be very interesting. Yep, they're going for it. They just can't deal with Baraghoyf, I guess. That's so good for me. So now, unless their last card is like exactly Snuff Out, I think we're totally cool. So I'll go ahead and warp. This does draw me 2 cards. I'm not going to shuffle away the Wasteland because I don't necessarily have any more life gain. Have they worked through both of my berries? So we draw 2. Now I'll play out this Wasteland. I'm going to waste one of their bayous here after combat, but I am going to kill Grist first. This is a great game. Man, this is so much back and forth. But like they're doing everything they can to try to stop me. But like this is too strong for them, I think. I'll go ahead and waste here. I'll just take them off the bayou. And then I get this back and I get 2 more cards, which is nutty. And I have this giant body. Okay, Bowmasters, love it. Back up Phelia. I think Bowmasters is really clutch here because like with Phelia, Bowmasters can like snipe a lot of stuff like that would maybe be too big. GG's, great games. All right, we're 1-1. Of course, another one of these hands that are not that likely. Like, we've been getting some rough openers. Up against Wajoey, the evil version of Joey. It's from the Japanese Waruigi. Okay, so this is a mulligan. This is fine. I'll put back a Bowmasters. We're just going to open Island, and then like hopefully they don't crack their fetch and we get to blow them out. But they're mulling to 5. Okay. Hopefully they're not mulling to 5 because they're on a deck that wants to mull to 5. Swamp. Okay. Moon Shadow. All right, cool. Bobble. They are getting to look at a random card. Hopefully they don't see Stifle. Phelia. Okay. Another Bobble. Moon Shadow's growing quite quickly. We need to draw a Plow soon. All right. So we're going to get 2 cards here before my Bowmasters can affect them. I wonder what they saw. What did you see, Mishra's Bobble? What did you see? A Brainstorm. Well, I'll just hold that. We're going to take a crack. Phelia can reset Moon Shadow, which is pretty cool. Come on, play a fetch. I know you're a greedy player who plays fetches just to get access to Surveillance. Right. Well, I will stifle the correct trigger here, the land. Hopefully that hurts. It still grows to a 4/4. So we're still taking a crunch. A black source would be pretty good because then that would give me something to do for a turn while I'm... Oh, man. The hits keep coming. That's a good card. We do have Brainstorm here. Brainstorm for Plow would be great. I definitely feel like this is an inflection point turn. Like, okay, in one universe, we take 6, 7, 8, maybe more. In the other, we find Plow, and Plow sets us free. I think we go for it. Plow is so good. Snuff Out, obviously, atrocious. Yes! Yes, friends. So let's think about, we can map out from here. So Plow takes out Moon Shadow. I think that's pretty foregone conclusion here. Then next turn, we Undercity Sewers and get rid of Murktide, which is pretty slow. I mean, maybe we get rid of Tamio. She's too late to matter, really. I kind of like that. I could play this out, and that way they're going to invest more resources. Hopefully they don't have a Plow. That would be pretty catastrophic. But I could still go for a Murktide here. If they do, Murktide will be a pretty big blocker. Again, like if they have like cycling, any... Okay, another Bobble. Perfect. Go ahead and fire off that Bobble, friend. Grow that Moon Shadow. All right, and now with that on the stack, I can clear this. Okay, and then they gain 1 less life. All right, and they look at my Murktide. Okay, that's a good card to know about. And they have Shadowy Backstreet. Okay, so they know Phelia is coming. So that's their Surveillant. They just naturally drew it, unfortunately for them, if they needed that mana. They're down to 1 card, though, but they're going to go up to 2. Okay. So now this triggers. That's fine. I will draw. As I said, I'm going to go ahead and bin the Tamio. She's just too slow. We're actually only 1 mana away from Merc, which is sad, but I'll just wait and I'll Phelia here. I don't think it's correct to Riddler. Hopefully they don't have Wasteland, but I'll still get the Phelia out either way. Another bobble. Man, Nethergoyf has not grown a lot. You can imagine like some gardener lady trying to grow her Nethergoyfs. Why aren't you growing? Just dumping water on him. Grow, grow. All right, I'll take this damage. Bowmasters is definitely a possibility here. As is like Fatal Push and lots of other things. But Bowmasters would be the worst because I'm about to draw a ton of cards with Quantum Riddler. Granted, I can shoot a Bowmasters with my own Bowmasters. Do we just want to go ahead and get in? We're drawing wild. This grows our dude, and then we can blink it for another. I don't think we go for this. I think it's greedy to do so. I want to get a mark down so I've got like a pretty big blocker. There's a massive risk in Warping Riddler here. Is there? I feel like they're definitely telegraphing, but like I draw a land and I just Bowmaster and clear it. So I am going to go for it because this will grow the thing. Gosh, please don't have it though. They do have it, of course. All right. So it should ping Phelia. Oh no. Did they ping me? They pinged me. Okay. Well, I think they made a mistake because they could have killed Phelia. So that triggers. Pinging me again. Okay. Wow. You see, you're trying to kill me. Okay. So I think the play here is just negate this, and then we don't have a blocker, so we're going to take some damage, but I think we might be okay. Again, I don't want to warp the Riddler right now. It's just not the right time. I've got Force with my other Riddler. Because maybe I did need to warp the Riddler there, but like Phelia would have died in combat. Yeah, and now like, did I know that this is on the table? I can just deal with it. I've got Orcish Bowmaster coming out next turn. If I draw a land, I can riddle. No, I'm not going to riddle until I clear this. Wasteland. Okay, that's pretty bad news for me because if they take out my black, I'm really screwed. That would be very heads up with them. Well, I mean, I can still play a giant Merc. Okay, they took him out white. That's actually not that big of a deal. I can't believe Nethergrowth is still 2-3. That's crazy to me. It's like really bad luck on their side that they couldn't grow them bigger. Another Nethergrowth. Okay, let's think about this. What options do we have? I think we... Okay, that's good. I'll play that out. I'm going to play a Murktide for... He'll be pretty big, and they'll have to attack. I can force to protect him. Yeah, I think that's the play. And then, basically, like, they're attacking... Orc can attack here. Yeah, I feel like we're actually in a decent spot here. And I can wait and see what they waste. Like, I can always grab another black if they waste this one instead of white. And, like, I'll tell you, Murktide is, like, kryptonite for these types of decks. Like, as a big fan of no reserve list, mono black, like, I think Murktide's maybe the card I've lost to more than anything. All right, so this puts a sorcery, and it grows both of these. I'll let it go. Again, if they attack with a Nethergoyf, they're losing a Nethergoyf. They take my Bowmaster, so I still have force up. There's the Wasteland. They fire it off. That's fine. They don't have particularly strong attacks here. They're hellbent. I just need to wait until I find an answer for Murktide or for Bowmaster. I'm not going to correct this fetch. I don't want to get low. I don't want them to like snuff out my mark and kill me because I correct the fetch. I need to have a reason. We've got a lot of bricks on top of the deck. The only card that saves me from this position really is Plow or second Bowmasters. Kaito's a good card. He's not the card that we need. I'll chill. We are not the beatdown here. It would be foolhardy to start attacking. If I draw another land, I could Kaito off Merc. I think that'd be a huge mistake. All right, there we go. That's land number 3. I'm just going to play it out. If I get another land, I could actually play out the Kaito without having an ninjutsu. The main problem is if I attack with Phelia, like there's no way I'm getting through that. I'll just chill. And I can't give them more bodies with Bowmasters. I just have to stubbornly see here. They could have drawn a Bowmaster. I probably have to force it, sadly, if they do find it. Bobble. That's fine. They already know most of my hand anyway. So likely they won't see... Yeah, they just saw a known card. Once I clear this Bowmaster, is like patience. Patience is the virtue. That is how we get through this game. A land gives me Kaito. Perfect. Do I want to fetch the 5 to get Kaito out? I can stun one. Then I can blink the other and get damage. I don't know. I'm just going to play with the Kaito and then I'll just block. But I will stun. Yeah, I think that's correct. I am going low in life here. Maybe it makes sense to plus Kaito instead of stunning. I do not have a scrubland in my deck, unfortunately. I'm going very low. I think at this point, black is more important than white. Because we've already got our Phelia out, and we do need to reliably be able to play out a Bowmasters if we draw it. I think this is just plus so we can stun later, because we're not ready to attack yet. Yeah, I'm just going to plus. And there might be a line where like I stun and then I blink the Kaito, and then Kaito comes back with like all the abilities and stuff. I just don't feel like that's correct right now. If they get like tunnel vision on Kaito, I'd be very happy here. Like if they start attacking Kaito instead of me. They're going to take me off white here, which was the risk, but black is the more important color. Now I'm going to draw a plow, of course, but can't really be helped. And because they did that, like I think it was correct for them to do, but that does mean that they won't be able to bring Nethergoyf from the yard if he goes there. And actually, they're a type short of doing that anyway. We're playing a dangerous game because they almost certainly have instants in their deck, and they'll eventually find one. And then their Nethergoyf will be so big that I won't be able to stop them. I think this is just another plus, and we just chill for a turn. I'm terrified here. Their deck is definitely favored in this matchup. At this point, I have to stop so many different things. Like I would have to force like a Douthie, for example. That would be a lethal threat. So what I could do is I could stun 2 turns in a row. I stun one of the Nethergoyfs, then I stun the other one. I just don't feel like it's correct. I don't think Super Shredder is my concern here. He is Menace. I can just stun him if I need to. Gosh, maybe he is a lethal threat though. Let's think about this. The Menace makes him so good. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just pitch. I'll pitch the Ponder because Riddler draws 2 cards. Now I'm really low in life. If they can Fatal Push one of these, I'm like extremely vulnerable. I think I have to just stun one just to make it so I don't just die to a Fatal Push at this point. Okay, they're going for it. Well, they're going to get my Phelia. I can't block. Or I can't not block. So I'll stun the other one. And then what? Like, I can't really attack because of the Bowmasters. I need to draw something good. Tommy is great, actually. So what I can do now is I'll go ahead and stun. Now I'll play out the Tomio. And now I'll attack with everything. And they're dead pretty quickly. And if they let the Bowman, if they block, that's really bad for them. Okay, they're at 8. They're dead next turn. Like I can buff this and I can stun this and kill them. Straight up. Straight up now tell me, is it going to be you and me forever? That Tomio was so clutch. Please don't kill me. Like I got so lucky to draw that. I'm really happy that I plus twice because now I have like some wiggle room on this guy. Just bringing back the Nethergoyf, which I can stun. If I could get a card out of my graveyard, I could just win. Oh, they have the Snuff Out. That's so good. So I stun. They're at 3. Okay. I stun and then they have to lose the Bowmaster and then I can do stuff. Is that good? I think that might actually be good. So let's stun here. Yeah, I can warp and I can just stifle the warp so that I've got a giant flyer and a good blocker. Fantastic. I should have attacked with Tomio. I'm not going to have her around as a blocker because she's going to flip, but that's probably okay. So we get 2 cards. She flips. No response to that. We'll plus her. And then I will just, I'll just counter the warp out. Now we've got a flying threat, and they have to kill us through all this. This has been an amazing game. And I'm back up to 4. How did that game... No, I didn't lose life. It felt like my life was so precariously low the entire game. I think it's because these Nethergoyfs are really big. Wow. Just goes to show you how insane Kaito is. Kaito, like, totally saved me there. Snuff Out. Get out of my deck. You're not welcome here. Baragwave is coming in. Prismatic Ending definitely comes in. Cards that are weaker on the draw, I think Daze is pretty mediocre. I think it's just Daze gets cut. Grafdigger Sage is not worth it. Yeah, none of the other cards really set the world on fire. We don't actually have that much for this deck, but that's okay. Like this deck that we're playing against is not like a tier deck. Even like the blue version of Super Shredder that has Daze and stuff, I don't think that's tier. I do think it's a cool deck that gets some wins, but I don't think it's going to stand up. I think traditional blue-black is better. So we're keeping the Stifles in. They may just randomly like save us. Like if they Douthie and activate to like put a Riddler in, we could like stifle that and that'd be backbreaking. Yeah, because like, Wasteland probably could come out. I don't know. I'm not going to cut any lands against their Wasteland deck. I can use the colorless. I don't know that we ever cut lands. Unless we're up against like a straight up combo deck, then we probably cut like the island. Like if we're up against like the Epic Storm or something, I think it's correct to cut a land. Round 3. Oh man, how many times am I going to get this hand? Come on, deck. I'm playing 15 initial blue sources. 15. That is like very responsible. Most tempo decks only play 14. And the reason, of course, like this would totally be a keep this were an island. Okay. Deck really enjoys messing with me here. Give me the double no-lander. Triple no-lander. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be tilted, but you cannot keep this hand. It is foolhardy. Okay. And here is a hand that we can actually keep. It's not a good hand, but it has stuff we can do. So we're on Team Island here. I don't want to get wasted out of the game. I'll just be able to cast my spells here and we'll see what we can do. We're going to get crushed. I wouldn't be surprised if like Dark Ritual Thoughtseize. Yeah, him. Oh, just Dark Ritual Baragwave. That's all. Okay. Well, the good news is they're only going to be able to connect once before I can start jumping. Plow off the top. Oh, that's close. That's close to a plow. Well, I'll play this out because I don't have any plays. Oh, man. I can't believe I got 3 one Wasteland hands in a row. The odds of that are extremely low. Like we're talking, 0.5% maybe. I could do the calculation if you want, just to prove I'm not crazy. Because I like, it's easy to like have result-oriented thinking and look at something happening. Oh, that's a pretty good card. Well, they're tapped out. I do want this land in my graveyard just in case I have to mark later. So I'm going to go ahead and get the planes here. And sadly, I think I might have to just end this rather than get in front of Baragwave. I'm not sure what's correct. This does a lot of damage. I would need another turn cycle to get an answer to Baragwave. Let's see if they hit. They didn't hit. Okay, that's good. I will be absolutely floored if we can come back from this. Active Baragwave on turn 1. That's how you start to come back. We'll play this out, and I'm just going to hold the fact that I have the plow, but I do need to plow this. That puts plow in the exile for them. But like this needs to stop. So I plow this, and then I end this, assuming I still have white mana, which is a big assumption. Okay, and now we take care of the real threat, and then we take care of the secondary threat. Like I don't use my graveyard for anything but Merc, so this isn't that big of a deal, but it hitting me for 3 every turn is not nothing. And unless they play out... Oh, is this another one? Well, it's not another Baragwave. That's what I was actually afraid of. So there's no world in which Tamiyo is better than just getting rid of one of these. They're down to 2 cards. I mean, we've drawn surprisingly well, and they haven't had a Wasteland, which is a big deal. I think the correct thing to do is just go ahead and get rid of this and just try to run them out of material because taking 6 is pretty atrocious. Yeah. And then if we draw a land, we can do like Phelia and Tamiyo in the same turn cycle or Bowmaster and Tamiyo in the same turn cycle, which is pretty good. This is like the one deck that Snuff Out is completely dead against. Like in the meta right now, Snuff Out is amazing. We saw that in the previous round. Even though they had a lot of black creatures, we were always still able to find a target for Snuff Out. And I feel very lucky that I didn't draw it last game. We're at 11. Do you have more threats? Your deck is like basically threats. So this is a Bowmaster most likely. Daze. It's a little late. I'll just chill. And I've got Phelia. Please have a Baragwave into my Daze. I need something like that. I'm just going to take this at 8. Not looking good for our hero. They may have nothing. I think they may have like a removal spell. The good news is if they Bowmaster... Oh, it's just a fatal push. Nothing I can do about it. We could still draw an exile-based removal and be in this game. I am going to go ahead and play her out, and I'm so scared to fetch, but I think it needs to happen here. But I'll wait until, like, they may end step Bowmasters thinking they have me dead, but actually they've got an extra turn. I've got an extra turn, rather. Yeah. Oh, another Fatal Push. Okay, well, I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. They could have Oppo. Oh, they could have Oppo, but I can blow Oppo out with the days. Dropping a 5, and then I'm dropping the 4 when I fetch, unfortunately. Super Shredder. All right, so I'm going to let this resolve, and then I'm going to wait until they attempt to trigger him. Surely they have something to trigger. They don't. Okay, well, Super Shredder is going to be Super Deader. No, I didn't think about that. Oh, no, I grew him. Shame concede. I don't think I can win anymore. Gosh, that was such a punt. Yeah, for some reason I thought it was like from their side. That was such a punt. Okay. Yeah, it's not a shame concession. I think we are genuinely dead. Let's draw a card or two and see what we would have drawn. Keep in mind we wouldn't have drawn these cards. I mean, Bowmasters into Kaito might have been able to stun, but then we've got this thing, and that has Menace. Yeah. Super menacing art on the full art one. Okay, so we'll just keep the deck the same. The way actually, I kind of think maybe we bring the daisies back in. Is that right? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some Riddlers because they are pretty dirtily, and I'll bring in the daisies. Because I mean, like if we drew Riddler at any point, like okay, how many points do I want to take off Bowmaster this turn? You know, like cards are not the problem. Mana is the restriction, and we actually got a workable hand. Yeah, Dick. Thank you for finally giving me like a keep on 1 or keep on 7. All right. Yeah. Well, I hopefully will never make that Super Shredder mistake again, and hopefully you won't either. I am going to fetch non-basics. I'm a busy guy that's got places to be, got spells to cast. Get this Tundra out first. There is the Nightmare scenario where they just keep wasting. Oh, this is good. Yeah, these are great, actually. The Wasteland is the lowest priority. Stifle is just a blue card to pitch the force. I'll take the Stifle now. They'll see the Plow. I don't think they're going to be playing like Cabal Therapy or anything like that. I think we're almost certainly going to daze here. Unless they have a Wasteland and just pass, that would suck. Don't fetch. Oh no, my Stifle didn't make it. It didn't find a home. Hopefully we'll later. If this is Moonshadow, I will definitely daze that. I think this is just... Yeah, I think actually this is daze because they mulled. I just want to respect... Like this is a 1-for-1. And then we might be able to stifle their next card. And then that's that. Like if they were about to Dotsie's him me, that'd be atrocious. Don't want that to happen. So now I can play this out and I'm not vulnerable to Wasteland. I think that's the line. And then we still have Stifle up and we can get our black card and we don't have to draw the Wasteland unless they play a Wasteland, in which case I'll draw the Wasteland. And then I'll just waste the Wasteland. Moonshadow. And I can fetch Surveil. Oh, I'll draw the Wasteland. Nice. And I'll take a hit from the Moonshadow rather than... that way I can still fetch a black source. Okay, that's fine. Don't see the Stifle. I want to surprise you. Swords. Okay, they know about it. And I switched from saying Plow to Swords because that's what they say in Japan. But like Plow just sounds so much cooler than Swords. Swords sounds generic. But because I go and play in Japanese, fun fact, like Swords to Plowshares is just Sozu. Sozu. Okay, so we're just going to draw the Wasteland on top of our deck. We're going to punish them for their hubris and playing, polluting their perfect basic land mana base. We'll take our crack here, and then we'll plow next turn. So we're going to take at least 3, maybe 4. It really is worth it for us to have the mana that we need. And if I can stifle right now, it's so good. And then I could just jam the Merc. And then I could... I mean, I doubt they're going to have Shield Resist. They might. Here, we're taking 3. It looks like they may not have land. Or they could be holding the Wasteland just as a spell, kind of. Which is smart if they're doing that. Now I have both colors. So I can just wait. I think that is correct. And then, yeah. I'm just going to be fetching probably a Tundra and Surveillant here. We can see if we can get them to invest more of... Like, they can always hold baubles and stuff like that. They have a Moonshadow. So right now they're incentivized to play more aggressively in terms of filling up their graveyard. Bubble, sure. They can look at a card that's not going to be on the top of my deck later. They are targeting themselves, actually. Okay, good. It's fine. Again, none of these are Stifle worthy. I want my Stifle to actually stop a land because they're clearly mana screwed. All right, I'm going to go for the Tundra, which is the more important of the two colors right now. And we are going to go ahead and just plow. And I gave them some extra life, but I value the information. Okay, they're going to combat more. All right, and now I can safely surveil without taking my Stifle ability away. Undercity Sewers. We're looking for more sorceries and instants we can put in the yard. That is a keep. It's just too flexible of a card to throw away in this matchup. All right, now it's time for Big Daddy Merc. And I can hold up a Stifle and a plow. So Merc is not as big as he could be, for sure. I could wait, but I do want to just get this game over while my opponent's mana screwed. We got 6 cards over there. 4, 5, 6, or just 5. Sorry. I've only cast Murktide like hundreds of times. I should know that it's 5 blue. Okay. Pass. So there is a risk in me forcing, like if they waste here, I could like straight up Stifle it, but then I don't have, I mean, they could have a second one. If they don't, they're in trouble. That might be their main way of removing Murktide. I usually play 2 in my Mono Black decks. There's the Wasteland. Bowmasters. Super Shredder. Okay. Do you have anything else to trigger him? Because I think I can race a Super Shredder. Oh, wait. Yeah, I can definitely race a Super Shredder with a plow. I think I just plow here. This thing's going to be a pain. Bowmasters isn't going to be in time. So I'll reduce the life that they gain. Okay, and they're still dying in like 4 swings. Wasteland would be great. Just anything I can do to deny the mana. Okay, they're going to draw 2 cards next turn, so don't let the fact that they only have 2 cards in their hand fool you. Okay, they're looking at my Bowmasters. That will join the fray. Maybe never, because that's just my backup threat. Like, I don't... Bowmasters is for removing their Bowmasters. Oh, actually, I could... I think actually I'm going to go ahead and do it. I punted, but I'm not going to punt again. I'm going to go ahead and just put the pressure on. I accidentally passed priority and didn't get the full pump. My Bowmasters, they're like Arnold. Milk is for babies. I drink beer. They want their full pump. Okay. That's a sick rip. What the heck? Okay. I'm feeling pretty good here. All right. 6 on to the dome. They're exactly dead. Well, no. They're dead in 2 turns. Yeah. We'll probably end up plowing something. Again, I want to emphasize we got really lucky here. This is a rough matchup for us. Double Wasteland. Dark Ritual. All right. Is this Barry? Douthie. Okay. What's your other card? Nethergoyf. Nethergoyf actually blocks. All right. I'm going to plow the Nethergoyf. And then I'm going to race the Douthie. I think that's what we're going to do. Because they can't block these 3. They have a plow in the void now. They could use it on my Merc. I didn't think about that. That was dumb. That does mean they have to sacrifice the creature, but that might actually be worth doing. They're going to be down. Yeah, I might die now. They're low. They're going to drop even further. Of course, we draw the Baragorf after they draw their Wastelands. That's unfortunate. Hopefully they rip stuff that doesn't matter here. But like I think they're probably going to use their Douthie ability to stay alive here. Like it's basically a force play. Unless they have, like another Snuff Out, then they can stay alive. But they can't really with Snuff Out. They need another Goyf as well. But I can see them stabilizing before I can get my mana under me. And I'm down to 6 minutes too. I've been thinking a lot during this match. They're using the Douthie. Yeah, I think I punted. I mean, I'll take the life for sure. That's not bad. And Moonshadow. Okay, that can definitely wreck me. If they don't have a card to put in, I'm going to go ahead and just keep attacking. And they may have to trade. Wasteland. Like, it's just closer to where we're going. Let's go. I guess I could have attacked and then played it out just to conceal information here. They are chilling. They're taking 3. Okay. They're counting on Moonshadow getting them there. If they can waste me again, that might be the case. Yeah. Gosh. That's brutal. Absolutely brutal. Yep. Hey, they don't have good attacks, though. I'll just attack with the Orc Army, and we'll see what happens here. My window of opportunity is closing. They might take this, but then that's dependent on them drawing something else that triggers Moonshadow. And then next turn, if they don't take this, they're just dead, I believe. Unless they have like the cycle guy, Street Wraith, but that would actually be bad for them. Yeah, okay. Man, this is a close game. Super close. Made close by their triple Wasteland and by my punt. I don't think it would be close if I hadn't punted. Okay, so they may have Fatal Push here. We're just going to try to squeak by here. If they have Fatal Push, that buys them time. They may have 2 drops here. I hope they have a freaking Baragorf in their hand. That'd be just karmic justice, snapping out their Wastelands. Instead, they have Nethergoyf. That's very good. They can't attack. But, like, gosh, how many lands do I even have left on my deck? Okay, we'll chill. I'm just going to F6 through my turn because I do need to win game 3. I think there's still... Wait, I conceded already, didn't I? I think I conceded because I shame conceded last stream. And now they have the Bowmasters. I think this is Bowmasters. Shoulder Edict. Okay, now they can start attacking. I need a black source and a Bowmaster, or like really any blue source, and Tomio can come out. All right, that's a land. Yeah, this has been a great game, though. I'm not sour at all that I lost. Yeah, I shame conceded after the Super Shredder screw up. They've got a lot of power on the table. Come on. All right, I think this is, like, realistically probably my last turn. All right, what do we find? I'll drop to 1. I'll just go ahead and see what happens. I mean, like, if I get the Baragorf out, they can get an attack in. I don't think... There's no path, actually. I'll just concede. There's literally no path. Yeah, well played. I think that had I not punted and had I just had Nethergoyf versus my ground game, but I gave them the thing that they needed to win. So that was definitely a teachable moment. Also, the Super Shredder fiasco where I forgot that I just needed to fetch with the Super Shredder on the stack and then I can respond. That was a complete boneheaded thing. Like, obviously the Super Shredder would have resolved before I got to search, so I wouldn't have had the land. So I hope you can see that, like, those were punts that you should avoid. Hopefully you're learning a lot. I mean, like, with the amount of embarrassment that's happened so far in the league, like, I'm certainly tempted to keep this to myself, but I'm going to publish it. I don't care if I look bad if it helps you play better. All right, we're back for round 4. We are 1-2 in the league. Unknown opponent. This is a Tomio start. I think, yeah, we'll see what information we glean here, but we have a forced blue card hand. We've got double plow if they're on a creature strategy. Ancient Tomb. Chalice is probably going to have to be countered if that's what this is. Yeah, it looks like it's Chalice. With this hand, I think it'd be a mistake. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hold the Brainstorm for a turn cycle, and I'm just going to waste them immediately to reduce the likelihood of them having a good turn 2. Our hand is like so many freaking 1-drops. Like, that absolutely needed to happen. And I do think Brainstorm is better than Tomio from this position because the game may be too short. Tomio's not good when your opponent's killing you on like turn 4 with a Broadside Bombardiers or something like that. They don't have a land. Yeah. What? Are they second main phase hipster? They do have a land. Okay, they are on Blood Moon. So we need to fetch the basic island before too long. So I'll just play this out, and this has the ability to fetch the basic island if I need to, or I can fetch it next turn based on what happens. If they do have like a burst of mana, I can make actions, but yeah, if they have Blood Moon, it's a huge problem. If they have the creature, I can plow at least. Okay, here I think we just take the hit. We don't need to take the hit. I can get the island off the next one. Do I care about taking 2 damage here? They could have like the post-combat Fury. I could wait and see if they attempt a Fury just to fling it, and then I could plow. I think that's worth trying. And if they don't do this, I could just surveil. I think if they have Blood Moon, they play that first. Come on, Fury me. You know you want to dome me with Fury. Fury me! Chrome Mox. Okay. I'm fine if they just want to throw a Mox at me. Yeah, they're just throwing a Mox at me. That's fine. I am going to... I think it's mana efficient to just fetch a Tundra. Like, there's certainly a possibility of a Blood Moon here, but I want to get this off the table. And then I will clear this next turn. So you could say, oh, you took 2 damage you didn't have to take. But if they had Fury and I'd plowed with the Fury on the stack, that would have been a huge win. We're going to chill. If they resolve Blood Moon, there's nothing I can do game 1. This might be another Chalice here. It is. Well, let's Brainstorm And let's get these 1-drops out of our hand. This is not good at all. This sucks. All right. There's no way. Well, yeah, actually, Phelia clears it. I don't need this many lands for sure. I'm just going to put back some lands. Unfortunately, nothing to be done here. Yeah, this is like our definitely one of our nightmare matchups. Like I said Painter was our nightmare matchup earlier, but this is a rough matchup too. So we're going to surveil. And we're looking to dodge 1-drops and more lands. That I don't think is good enough at this point. Like, we do have... Yeah, I think we probably actually do waste, and that increases the likelihood that we're going to be able to... What is the black for? I'm going to keep this. Like, their deck is like half mana, but yeah. Like, this takes Pyrogoyf and a lot of other scary stuff off the table. So they do have a window to Blood Moon here if they have another Ancient Tomb. I've taken out 2 of their Ancient Tombs. I'm hoping they cast something ambitious and I can daze it and get this back in hand and then replay it. That's fine. Their hand is almost completely empty now. They put a Pyrogoyf under it. Another broadside. Well, I will daze that. I don't even have to tap because they're hellbent. So I'll just get this Undercity Sewers back. And they have nothing going on, but they do have mana and they do have Chalice, which means we have nothing going on. This is great because I can Tomio. No, Tomio doesn't do anything because of Chalice. Well, I'm glad I brought this back. At least I can get some card selection this turn since I can't cast anything. That goes in the yard. Yeah, Chalice is just a brutal. But again, if we find Phelia, that Chalice is going to be on 0. It's just a question of whether they draw action before we do. Like Blood Moon is GG. There are a lot of just GG cards. They may have drawn like an unpaired Mox. Stifle, that's a bad draw. We'll play our land out and we'll pass. Yep, we have probably at least 20 1-drops in our deck. And I want to point out that I did respect the first Chalice, but they had the second one. Okay, they have so much mana over there. This could be Pyro. Barry. Unfortunate. This is a fetch to thin moment, unfortunately. I don't like doing this, but it is correct. We're not going to be brainstorming anytime soon. We don't want to draw more land. We have basically like 1 turn to find something. What can we even find? Bowmasters is not dead if we find it. Let's grab this Tundra because it doesn't matter if they Blood Moon, the game's over. Snuff Out doesn't do anything here. All right, they're going to be doing degenerate stuff. Interesting. So they're like on a tribal Goyf build with Pyrogoyf and Beargoyf. And if they find a Pyrogoyf off the top, I think that's just death. I can snuff it out, but that doesn't seem like a good idea when we're at 7 life. Magus of the Moon. Unfortunately, I can't counter Magus of the Moon. I think we can just concede here. I don't need to show them that it was the Magus of the Moon. I'll just keep playing like I have an answer to Magus, but I don't. Yeah, and so by the time it resolves, I don't have a swamp, so I can't cast Snuff Out anymore. Yeah, okay, I'm wasting everybody's time. Let's just go to the next game. I don't think it's like okay, wow, Blood Moon effects are good against my mono dual land mana base. No surprise. Okay, so this is going to be our own Beargoyf is very strong against them. I do like Daze on the play. Tomio's not good here. Stifle doesn't do anything. I'll cut that completely. That gives us room for Prismatic Ending, which is pretty good when we have 3 colors. No Rod stops the One Ring. We didn't see the One Ring. Wait, we did see the One Ring. I'm going to bring this in. This is sufficiently disruptive to warrant playing here. Other cards that suck. Riddler's not great in this type of matchup because it's really slow. Snuff Out, I don't know that we necessarily want to be playing this. It is a way to clear broadside, but the cost is high. I think I'd rather play no, if I'm keeping the dazes in, I don't need Force Negation. All right, we have to ask ourselves, is this good enough? Their deck is extremely hateful. I think this has to suffice. Murktide's so hard to cast, but it's hard for them to clear. Yeah. I'll keep the Quantum Riddlers in just for the dream of Phelia riddling. This is a Phelia Riddler start. We can just fetch basic Island and Ponder. And that way we have an out to them resolving. Yeah, I'm going to fetch basic Island and Ponder. It doesn't matter which fetch I use. All my non-island, I don't have any non-islands. And Bowmaster can probably wait. This is a good spread. So we can force the Chalice or the Blood Moon, and then we have interaction. We don't necessarily need to force Chalice. Yeah, I'll stack it like this. I'll just take the force now. They could have Hexing Squelcher in their deck, which would be really annoying. I don't have a good answer for that. I think if we get Phelia out and then she stays out, that's going to be extremely strong. Actually, if they chalice, I'll just let them chalice because I'll reset the chalice. Okay, this might be a Blood Moon. I'll pitch Ponder because like my next 3 cards are fine and I need something to riddle. That resolves. All right. The card they put under there is Bogart Trawler. The card underneath this is Plow. I'm just going to wait and I'll try to Phelia here. Phelia can also blink Blood Moon out of play so I can cast my Prismatic Ending if I need to. Okay. Got some mana flow in here. They may have a Pyroblast. All right, so let me think about this. So I have a Plow on top. That doesn't help us here. I think I do need to force this, sadly. They have black mana. They don't have red, so they can't Pyro back. I'll do it without... I'll cast the Phelia after I force. That worked. And now Phelia is vulnerable for turn cycle. You know what? I think I just riddle here and get material on the board rather than try to go after that. Does that change anything? Because I can exile that and I can exile their land. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to play that way and hold up force just in case. So this is pretty sweet. Check out what I'm going to do here. I'm going to blink this out. Now I can cast Prismatic Ending for like 1 mana. And then I'm going to kill this and they just won't have very much mana to work with over there. So I get the Chalice back, but it'll stop their 0 drops. So they have another 0 drop, they won't be able to cast it. And then next turn we can riddle. So you get your Chalice back, but now it's a liability. Fury. I think these are force. They could Pyroblast it, which would be pretty bad for me. They do have Pyroblast mana up. Okay. They may not be playing Pyroblast because they're so heavy on Chalice. All right. We'll just attack. Not blink anything. Get our 2 damage and pass. So we're in a very vulnerable situation if they draw land. But they may not. We could have warped there, but it wouldn't necessarily draw into anything. And Phelia is a powerful game piece. All right. And we're going to get Phelia for another turn. If we find a Bowmaster mana card, there we go. Now we can put Bowmaster in and we can start blinking Bowmaster and doing a lot of damage to them. I will make them think that maybe I have a Plow by keeping white up. It doesn't really matter. Ping you. Yeah, like once you have any permanent to blink with Phelia, whether that's, like a Bowmaster or whether that's a Tomio, like it's just, she becomes a pretty good threat, actually. She'll kill in like 5 turns by herself, assuming they have like 20 health, because she just scales up every turn. Okay, they did draw land. Okay, they're passing again. I just want to max damage here. They're not dead, but they're getting closer. And then I can blink this one. Yeah, and they were getting to where like even Ancient Tomb is just untenable. They can't bolt in their lands, which we know they probably have at least 8. Probably at least 5. So on the draw, Daze comes out. Force Negation comes in. It's very good here. Snuff Out probably is worth playing too. Be able to clear a broadside. I think Consign is worth playing here because it stops a lot of things. We can stop One Ring. We can stop certain beneficial triggers. That might be better than Snuff Out. And it increases our blue count for the purpose of force. Prismatic Ending was good there, sniping their mocks. Riddler is a great way to win. However, it is slow. Baragwayf is a good way to win. I can't see us cutting Baragwayf. I think I'm going to cut the endings because they're a little slower. And if they chalice, we'll have to fall back on Phelia to help us get out of that like she did that game. Not going to cut any lands. They do have like the blow up a land card in the deck. It's like a multi-face land. And it's a pain for sure because you can only search for basics and we're proactively getting our basic out of the deck. I can't remember. It may even be able to target basics. Yeah, I think it can target basics. So it can completely lock us off blue if we manage to get blue out. Which blue is really just like the Hail Mary. Like you put the Hydroblast really just out of respect for this matchup, but it's also good against Delver, Painter, stuff like that. But you put these in here on the hope that you're going to get a turn and you're going to be able to like Island Hydroblast, right? So basically like the reason the Island is in the deck and the reason the 3 Hydroblasts are really for this matchup more than anything else. And I encounter this a lot in paper. I don't encounter it as much on MTGO. This has to be a keep. Man, like they're keeping. I think they have an explosive turn 1. I need a force. This unfortunately doesn't work. I'm not going to keep a no-lander. They might presume we have a force, but we actually don't. All right, so we're going to keep the 2 lands. I'm going to put back a Brainstorm and a Consign. And we're almost certainly dead, unfortunately. Like, they just turn 1 Chalice, it's devastating. They turn 1 Blood Moon, it's even more devastating. We'll never win. I think this is the turn 1 Blood Moon. Like, I would have to naturally draw an island. Yeah, we just got robbed, man. Oh, okay, we're still alive, actually. Sorry, I was about to concede. I was like, we got robbed, man. We got robbed. All right, throw that Mox at me. Fury me. Do something that, like, gives you a short-term, like, feeling of getting closer to victory without actually putting you closer to victory. All right, so options. I don't think there are really any options here. I think what we need to do is just float this out. We can grab a plow and plow this before we take massive damage. We can get our basic island. I do want to waste this really badly, but I just don't want to I don't want to live in a world where we're taking another hit from broadside. They could just have like another Ancient Tomb or a City of Traders or something. So this is Pyrogoyf, but Pyrogoyf is tiny here. This might be Baragoyf. That's just something they can throw. I'm actually fine with them casting that out, and then I'll just plow in combat so they can't throw that at me. That resolves. Let's go ahead and plow here. They're down to 2 cards. They did play a land this turn, so they could have more land. Close to Merc. My thinking is we have Consign up, we have Phelia coming in the instep. Then we have Wasteland, and if we consign something, we do have Merc, but Merc's not huge. This gives us the option of grabbing the basic island, but that doesn't really help us here. I think, actually, I'm just going to Phelia if they Blood Moon. I'll take this damage. My opponent's playing well. They're not falling for traps that I was hoping they would fall for. This is going to be the Underground Sea, I think. Yeah, because my next few turns are kind of spoken for. I'll have a Phelia, hopefully. Hopefully she won't die to, like, Bolt or something. Dismember. Lots of things they could throw at me. Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. Now, I blink their Mox, and then I do bury. They're going to Bolt here. Dead. Okay, it's gone. It's not. Okay, so post-combat, I am going to bury. So this is a 3/4, which is absolutely vulnerable to Fury, if they have that. They're 1 mana off from casting Fury. The other option is putting a Merc out, but that's also vulnerable to Fury. So I'm going to play the higher upside card here. They do have these. They could cast another one, but this will still be like a 1/2. I'm not going to block the Trawler. We're going to need to get lucky here. Our top decks are way better than theirs, but Blood Moon just solos us. Broadside. Oh, man. I tried my best. Trying my best here. I guess they're not going to talk with that. It doesn't matter. They're just going to throw it at this. So I take 2. Then they throw the Trawler, which unfortunately is strong enough to kill Baragoyf. And I am going to snipe their Ancient Tomb here. And then play a Merc out. And they won't have anything big enough to throw. This can potentially put a... Okay, what do I want to do here? Do I want to surveil knowing that it leaves me like completely stone dead? I'm going to hit that. I'm going to fetch surveil, and I'm going to try to make this Merc bigger. Gosh. If I hold, though, I can hold up Consign. Yeah, I'll just get the island, and then I have Consign up. I think like making Merc bigger is folly. They're playing their own Baragoyf, so I'm going to get creatures out, but they already actually have a creature over there. It was probably a mistake to fetch there. I could have fetched surveilled in the instep. I misplayed, frankly. So they could go like... They didn't have a land last turn. I think they probably... Well, we'll see what they do here. They are like only a few swings from killing me. If they have Fury, like I'm basically dead. Like I can consign the Fury trigger that would kill my Merc, but then they can just throw it. Gone would be good here, but they don't have the mana for it. They do have the Fury. All right, so hear me out. I basically have to consign this trigger, and then they're going to throw it, and I'm going to go dramatically lower in life. They're throwing this at me, and now that trigger resolves. I'll just go ahead and stop the ability that's going to hit my Merc here. And I need to draw a plow immediately. Like, if I don't draw a plow here, I think that's just the end of the game. Let's find it. Let's find the plow. Come on. Bowmasters actually can double block, but it doesn't matter because they can throw that. Okay. Yeah, that's brutal. All right, we're back for the final round here. Likely Omnitell opponent. We have a force blue card, turn 1 Tamio. I think I'm going to turn 1 Tamio and hope that we can get ahead. This hand does have force, and that's really good against them. It's a lot of land. I'll lead with the Tundra because I'm going to likely fetch a Surveil when I do fetch, which may be a few turns from now because I can just cash in clues instead of surveilling. I don't think Plow's going to play any role at all. Like, it might be able to remove an Atraxa, but they'll have generated so much value. Okay, it looks like they're playing basic lands in their, like, a lot of basic lands. They may be on, like, just straight blue-green Omnitell. Like, often that... Oh, gosh, we freaking bricked. All right, well, let's come across here. We're up a card. Probably doesn't mean anything. I will go ahead and just show them that I have black. I don't care. I want to save these fetches for later. So now, if they do go for it, I can crack the clue and hope to hit a blue card. It doesn't look like they're going for it. We're going to draw. Don't be land, please. Okay, that unfortunately doesn't do anything against their deck. It's terrible. Okay, they are playing red. Okay, I mean, that's something. But we need a blue card. So I'm not even going to be able to cast it. What I'll do is probably fetch Surveil. And then crack the clue just so I can try to get to a force. The likelihood like of them just trying to go for it right now is low, frankly. Impulse is fine. Haven't seen that in a while with stock up just being like way better, but it is cheaper to impulse. And impulse is an instant. You don't need to like be tapped out for an entire turn cycle. Another island. Are we going to show and tell? Okay, we're getting another turn, which is great. So I'm going to fetch Surveil here. And I've still got another fetch if I find a Brainstorm to rearrange my hand. Because like I've got so many bad cards. This is a bad card for right now. All right, so we've been drawing 2 cards a turn, but we haven't been drawing good cards. Merc is a good card because it pairs with Force. And we got a second Merc. I'll play out a land. I can't flip Tamio this turn. I'll just chill. I can flip, or I can draw a clue, off a clue, and I can Orcish Bowmaster. But like I think what they're going to do is they're just going to draw one more mana, and then they'll have some protection spell up. Intuition. That's fine. Okay, they're getting a bunch of forces. So that means that they have the combo, and we are going to have to deal with it here. Hexing Swelter. Okay. So if I just snuff out here, I can, I'm putting myself dead to a single Emrakul strike, but I don't think it really matters. And then I have the mana to get like the Bowmaster down and draw the card. So yeah, I'm going to do it. I don't even care. Like I'm going to lose a lot of life anyway, just targeting it. They're forcing here. Unfortunately, I can't actually stop that. So I'll just have to do it again. I'm going to do it now. It's just mana efficient to do it in this end step. I won't be able to deploy the Bowmasters here. Do you have a second force? I don't expect them to. Okay, now I can drop the Orcish Bowmaster, and then I have an offensive. I think that is worth doing. And then I can hold the Merc in case I can find another force. This is also disruptive. And now I can go to my turn, and if I find a Brainstorm, I still have the shuffle up. I think this is just like a ponder. Yeah, let's ponder first. Another Bowmaster is actually not that bad. Oh, Brainstorm is what I need. So what I'll do is I'll just Brainstorm here after I attack. So check this out. I'm going to actually do a lot of damage. I can Brainstorm and I can fetch and I can put the Bowmaster in all in the same turn while I'm still attacking, so I can do more, like 1 extra damage. Check this out. So Tamio creates a clue. She's coming across. Now that I have the clue, let's go ahead and Brainstorm. She'll flip. I'm going to put back this land. Actually, I'm not actually sure that I want to put back the land. I might actually keep that. I'll put back a Tamio, and Phelia is totally unnecessary here. Okay. And now I will go ahead and fetch. I'll get another Tundra. And I'm going to go ahead and just cast this second Bowmasters. Hit them. Do extra damage to them. Now I can plus. And what I can do is I have double blue cards, so I can regrow a force next turn. Do I want to play this out? I might want to waste them next turn. Yeah, I think it's fine. So this is the turn they have to win, basically. Show and tell, I'll force it. They could spell pierce it. Okay, we got it. All right, so this is definitely force negation, hydroblast. I can't take out all my removal because they're annoying. Dude, this is actually a really good Kaito matchup because he's blue. I think Snuff comes out. It doesn't deal with Atraxa. It deals with Squelcher, but I've got Force, or I've got Plow for Squelcher as well. I think Stifle's actually pretty good here because we can... On the draw, is it good? I don't know. I don't want to take out Phelia just because of the upside potential. I'm going to take out one of my lands. They're not going to go after my land. I'll take out an Underground Sea. I barely got any black in my deck anyway. I do have Hydroblast for the dude. Like, maybe I don't need this many plows. It's tough. I want to have a high density of blue spells for sure. All right, yeah. All right, I've just got the one plow now. So I am pretty vulnerable. This is a Hydroblast hand. This is a great hand. Yeah, I'm keeping this. Again, never let your opponent know you have an extremely, strong 7. Like, just kind of wait and think. Unless you have a really weak 7 that you're keeping, like, speculatively, like, okay, I'm going to bet that they're not going to have, force, for example, or something like that. So I'll make it seem like they don't have it. Like I don't have it. Okay, Preordained's fine. So I'm going to hold up Hydroblast just in case they play the dude. I can fight him on the stack, which is easier because then I can fight back. I can't fight back once he resolves. No, wait, he can't be countered. I can't fight him on the stack. Such a busted card. All right. So, like, Hydroblast basically has to be reserved exclusively for him, which means I'm going to be casting it during... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Ponder now. These are good cards, but I need land. This is more of the same. All right, Bowmaster. So we're actually in a pretty awkward situation where we might just have to sit here for a few turn cycles. They're not giving us anything to daze. Come on, land! Brainstorming in our upkeep. Fine. I could deny him a perfect brainstorm, but I don't think that's correct. Ouch. We'll discard the Bowmasters here. This is super awkward, unfortunately. And now they can just hang back and sculpt. Like, oh, so you're mana screwed. Please cast something I can interact with. I'll force pretty much anything here. I can't interact with that, unfortunately. I don't have Stifle. Yeah, I think this is going to be a loss for us, this game. If we draw a land, we might still be able to get out of this. Stock up. Let's daze this. That was a good exchange. Okay. And daze wasn't guaranteed to be good later. Another Hydroblast. Okay, that's actually not that bad. We don't have to discard this turn. Okay, no plays. They could have Intuition in the end step. Okay, that's great. That's a land. I will take it. So I could Riddle here just to get a card deeper. I think that's fine. I've got plenty of stuff going on here. I don't think they're going to both cast the dude and go off in the same turn cycle. I think I will get a chance to interact. Would love for them to Pyro this. Impulse is fine. I'm just looking for more lands. Maybe I should have cut a Wasteland. Yeah, if I'd cut a Wasteland, I'd be in a better situation than I am now. As it is, like they could Hexing Squelcher. I only have one shot at removing it, and if they interact with that, then yeah. So I'm going to attempt to Hydro it during my turn, but if I don't have a second blue source, I could absolutely lose from here. Come on, blue source. I am just going to go ahead and do this now. Yeah, if I do it now, it reduces the likelihood of them having a second. Well, they could have Spell Pierce, so just in case they have Spell Pierce. They force that. Okay, so we're dead, basically. They're going to show and tell next turn, and there's nothing I can do. And this is so annoying, like they were probably thinking, oh, this will be a nice card to like stop the EDH players from getting their spells countered or whatever. But like actually, this is like extremely devastating to Legacy that they print cards like this because it makes it harder for control decks to do their job to police the format for combo. So this resolves. I get a Riddler. You get a Emrakul. Okay, so I actually don't have a good answer for Emrakul. I don't think. Let's think about this. Snuff Out doesn't work. Plow doesn't target it. Yeah. Let's take a draw. Look at what would have been. Yeah, good games. Good game, rather. There's still one more. Okay, so maybe it's correct to play another Plow. I mean, Snuff Out's actually as good as Plow. It's maybe better because if we'd had Snuff Out, well, we wouldn't have been able to cast it, but I'm going to cut a Wasteland and I'll bring my Underground Sea back in. The fact that Snuff Out is free, I don't care about my life total at all. Like, we're just dead. One Emrakul Strike, two Emrakul Strikes, all the same. I do have to cut one more thing. I think I'm actually going to cut another Wasteland. They just gave me so few things to waste. Like, literally nothing to waste. So I'll just treat it as a spell. And I'll try to keep a hand that has mana. Let's mulligan the no-lander. This is a one-lander, but it has a Tomio. I'm going to keep this. I will put back a Bowmaster. They could have back to basics in their deck. I don't think it's an immediate concern. I think it's correct, given the composition of our deck, to grab Underground Sea so we can snuff and so we can get Kaito out. They are on 6 over there, passing with no play. I'm going to attack, and then I'm going to ponder and try to find a land drop. They could have, well, they don't have red up, so they can't pyro this. I don't think blue has any interaction for this. Final land. These are good cards, but unfortunately, I think I need to find land. I could just hang back for a few turns, but like I'm genuinely worried that they have the card and I don't have a good answer to it. So I am going to try to find a land. I did not find a land. I'm playing 17 lands, which is not just like a ton for cutting the 2 Wastelands, but the Wastelands are just good for colorless. They're not going to interact meaningfully with my opponent's mana base. This looks like it might be Hexing Squelcher. Okay, it's just Ponder. That's good. I will absolutely probably be just holding up mana, even if I get the second one, so I can start cracking clues rather than riddling. Hydroblast is actually a really good draw here, but it's not good enough, frankly. Like, we're still in an extremely bad position. But now we at least can try to remove the Squelcher. But the problem is Squelcher makes counter magic uncounterable. They may have intuition in the end step here. Snuff Out. That's another way to remove the dude. So we'll just swing in and we'll pass. Pretty embarrassing performance here in this league, frankly. I feel like the deck is fine. I think some combination of bad luck and bad decisions on my part are resulting in us just getting completely destroyed. Like these are the best cards in Legacy, all jammed in one deck, and it should perform better than this for sure. So I'm gonna do another league. Like, I'm gonna dismiss this as kind of a fluke. It is evidence, but yeah, it's a bit of a fluke that we are doing so poorly. First of all, we got 2 catastrophic matchups. This is fine. I can't interact here. I'll just attempt to snuff in the end step. I got lucky that, well, I mean, I planned to draw a Snuff Out, and then I'll just pyro it if they force this, which they are. And that way I'll know going into my turn whether I'm screwed. They can't force negation this, at least. Look at all the damage I've done to myself just trying to remove the broken permanent. Okay, we did get it out. All right, deck. I relent. You win, deck. I feel like this is my deck beating me, not my opponent. They have lots of mana. Like, you know, Pyroblast is definitely a possibility. They can start like Lorien revealing and stuffing. I mean, it's just going to get ugly here if I don't find land. All right, well, I am going to attempt to brainstorm here, and I'll probably force to get through because I can't stand still. Look at all these clues that will never be cracked, unfortunately. We just won't have the mana. You've got to be kidding me, Doug. Got to be kidding me. Okay, well, we'll redraw this Ponder, I guess. And that way I can pitch the Tomio to force. I mean, we'll plus here. They're going to just take it out, which is totally... Oh, Cunning Wish. I think they may just grab like a Pyro or something. What are they going to grab? A Braid? Well, I can daze this at least, and then I have a land drop. That's actually really good for me. What a lucky sequence. Because like Daze is going to be dead in like basically any other context. We just got so lucky that they're doing exactly a Braid. Now we've got our Planeswalker. Pretty sweet. So I'll plus, play a land. I'm drawing the Ponder next turn. Unfortunately, I thought like, oh, I didn't anticipate like Cunning Wish of all things. So that's on me. I wasted this mana, frankly. They're down to 4 cards over there. Another one of these guys. It's so frustrating. Please go all in on a show and tell now. All right, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to Hydroblast your annoying ass permanent. Screw this card. All right, we'll pay the ward. Yes. Does it die? Yes. Now we're going to force your damn spell with our, Tomio number 3. Now we're going to ponder and we're going to find a freaking land. I'm going to reroll a force here. Final land. Come on, deck. Show me the land. There we go. Hell yeah. Okay, so Bowmasters is not bad. They're actually low enough in life that Bowmasters could be okay. But I think I probably want to fetch to just try to find more interaction. Force get back in my hand. Hopefully they don't have Squelcher number 3. That would really suck. Granted, I can plus and eventually minus and get the pirate or like the snuff or something to kill it. I'll be extremely low, actually. I might die just from self-harm. I think they've had 0 successful attacks on me. I mean, I'm going to counter. I think Kaito is the card that we pitch here. Then we just riddle next turn and draw like a ton of cards. And in that spirit, I am going to fetch here. And I think I surveil. Yeah, I'm just going to try to survive a few turns. You can go in the graveyard. Thank you. I've had enough Tamios. We've already got an active one. We don't need to play another one. We'll probably never even be able to crack these clues. Oh, it sucks. I didn't get a land. I can't do anything here. They could just go again. I can get a Riddler out. If they go again, I have to force. So I'll just chill. Like if they actually do cast a Brainstorm, Bowmasters might be good enough. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Okay, well, let's try this. I think we're just totally screwed. But like it's possible we get enough damage in that they can't win. But like if they find a show and tell, we're totally screwed. We can regrow a force. We don't have plows in our deck at all. Unfortunately, the one color that attracts it is red, so Hydroblast won't remove it. But we could like riddle and get that in front of the Hydroblast. I can't believe we won that. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe we won that final game. Okay. So check it out. This is like the list I'm going to play next. I just happen to have it up. I'm really on an Esper kick. If I'm going to be playing duels, I'm going to be playing cool, fun cards like Staff of the Storyteller and Momentum Breaker and stuff. I'll show you that in a bit. Let's take a look at the list though here. So this is the other list. Hang on. I think the deck is great. It felt amazing playing it. It's just like, I'll be damned if I didn't get some like really unlucky openers. There were several like Wasteland is my only land type things. And you know, this is basically the blue-black tempo mana base. It's just that we're playing one fewer basic and we're playing one more dual. I think this is a good deck. Obviously the performance 2-3 and struggling at that in that final round, pretty bad. Like I can see why somebody might dismiss like, oh, seems like another pile. Keep experimenting. But like, no, I actually think this exact 75 is very good. And there's a Yogi Berra, the famous philosopher. I think he did something other than philosophy, but like he always said, you know, in theory and practice are the same. In practice, they're not. It could be that like I've gone too far up my own rear end thinking okay, this is what like tempo should look like. This is like the perfect marriage of Stifle Pup, as I like to call the Phelia Stifle deck, and blue-black tempo. I believe that Orcish Bowmasters is the best creature in the format right now. I believe that it's just absolutely insane in pretty much every matchup. Like the only matchups it's not good in are like lands and oops. It's just so great everywhere else. And I believe that Kaito is the best planeswalker ever printed, other than Tamiyo, of course. You know, like the 4 Tamiyos, the 4 Orcish Bowmasters, the ability to potentially also just get a Kaito off of Phelia if you want to do that. Like there's so many ways to enable Kaito, and we can play Kaito as a one of. He's not like a core strategy. He's just a nice to have, basically. I believe Snuff Out is insane right now, with like so many non-black decks that are creature centric, like Ocelot Pride deck. And it's very good against Hexing Squelcher, as we saw there. I believe Murktide is still like potentially game-ending threat. I think we might have actually, it was the Mono Black list that we almost got. We got so close to getting that. But I plowed their... I can't remember what other creature... I plowed a Nethergoyf instead of plowing the Douthie. And then they were able to use the plow under Douthie to remove my lethal Murktide. And I don't know that what I did was wrong. Obviously, if you look at the outcome, I lost that game. But I'm not sure that it was absolutely wrong to have them basically go to like no creatures, you know, like just remove my Merc when... They could have just drawn another Snuff Out, or they could have drawn like a Shielder's Edict. And I had other attackers. It's just extremely unfortunate that they were able to double Wasteland me. And I need a rewatch to see whether the Wastelands were already on the table at that point. because if the Wastelands were already on the table, I could have reasonably confirmed that I was never going to cast another spell. But I think they may have had one Wasteland out and then they played the second one. And one thing is like, I'm not used to being so vulnerable to Wasteland. I've been playing a lot of back to basics type decks, back to basics control. My blue-white deck has 3 basic lands instead of 1. I don't think you can play basics in this type of list, frankly, this tempo. But in this list, which I'm going to play in the next league, not this one. That was my trophy list. This list, I have to buy Staff of Storyteller, like freaking $10 each. I don't know if I'm actually going to do it. I might do it with my DB account. Sorry, I can cheat that way. But like this list, if you look at it, yeah, there's so many cards in here. I need to shrink it so we can see it. Like this is pretty much like the similar spirit, but it's like aiming to go long, and it's aiming to generate value through Storm Chaser Talent, Boomerang Basics, Momentum Breaker, put your opponent in the abyss. If you have Phelia, you can also just Boomerang Basics, Momentum Breaker back and get a second Shielded Edict type effect. Not quite as good as Shielded Edict. Prof's Eidetic Memory. So hyped about this card. I love this card. It's legendary, so you can just play one, and you can play one Kaito too. So philosophically, this deck is very similar to what we were playing today, but it just abandons the tempo element, which, you know, like wasn't the key thing that helped us win, frankly. The key thing that helped us win the games that we won was just having really good card quality. Like Bowmasters, I think, played a part in several of the rounds. Murktide, stuff like that. So look for a league with this. And until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.